Deep within the green heart of South America lies a world few have ever seen. The Amazon rainforest, vast, breathing, alive, shelters more than just trees and rivers. It shelters people, entire nations hidden beneath the canopy, living stories that began long before our modern world took its first step. They are the guardians of forgotten wisdom, the keepers of an ancient dialogue between human and nature. Some call them tribes, others call them mysteries. Their languages carry sounds that have never been written. Their rituals paint colors the modern world has never named. And among them, whispers tell of messages from beings of the sky. Not as myth, but as part of life itself. Tonight, we travel into that living labyrinth to meet the tribes of the Amazon, uncover their ways of life, their strange arts, and the powerful harmony that still binds them to the forest. The Yanomami, the tribe that speaks with the forest. Hidden in the dense borderland between Brazil and Venezuela, the Yanomami live in one of the most isolated regions of the Amazon. Their world is built around the Shabono, a giant circular structure made from palm leaves and wood, housing dozens of families under one open roof. Life here follows the rhythm of nature. Sunrise marks work, rain dictates rest, and the night sky guides their stories. The Yanomami believe the forest is alive, filled with invisible spirits that must be respected and spoken to. Their shamans, covered in red and black paint, enter trances using a powder made from sacred tree bark. Through these rituals, they claim to see and hear the voices of the forest. Many scientists once dismissed these beliefs, but new research shows that their traditional practices align closely with patterns of weather, plant cycles, and animal behavior. What outsiders interpret as mysticism may in fact be a sophisticated form of ecological observation. For the Yanomami, every ritual, song, and dance is not about faith, it's about survival. They live in a system where breaking the balance with nature means death. Their message to the modern world is simple: you cannot heal the planet unless you first learn to listen to it. The Kayapo, the painted warriors of the rainforest. Moving east across the great rivers of the Amazon, another people live in vivid color, the Kayapo. Known for their striking body paint and feathered headdresses, they are more than just symbols of tribal beauty. Their designs are a living code. Each color, each line on the skin tells a story. Red for life, black for strength, white for peace. When the Kayapo prepare for ceremonies, their entire bodies become a canvas of communication. To them, painting is not decoration, it is identity. The patterns record lineage, status, and even emotional state. Researchers who have lived among them describe how these markings change with the seasons, reflecting not only social order but the rhythm of the forest itself. The Kayapo are also fierce defenders of their land. They use traditional knowledge to track rivers, predict rainfall, and locate edible plants, skills refined through centuries of survival. Yet they also stand at the front line against deforestation, often confronting illegal loggers with the same discipline they once reserved for tribal warfare. Their belief is that to harm the forest is to harm their ancestors, whose spirits still dwell in the wind and the trees. In their songs, they call to the forest as to an elder, seeking guidance, forgiveness, and strength. Together with the Yanomami, they form part of a living mosaic, cultures different in form, but united by one truth. The forest is not a backdrop to human life, it is the source of it. The Marubo, the tribe that breathes with the forest. Deeper into the western Amazon, beyond the reach of most rivers and satellites, live the Marubo, a people who describe the jungle as their lungs. Their villages are small circles hidden between thick canopies, where time feels suspended and the air carries the scent of wild leaves. The Marubo live in harmony with the rhythm of the forest, guided by rituals that revolve around what they call the breath of the earth. They believe that every living thing exhales energy, and to survive, humans must learn to breathe in tune with it. One of their most unusual traditions is the use of sacred tobacco smoke. During ceremonies, they inhale it through long wooden pipes, claiming it clears the spirit and connects them to their ancestors. Scientists who study these rituals notice that participants enter deep meditative states similar to controlled breathing techniques found in modern therapy. But for the Marubo, this is not science, it is life. They say the smoke carries their thoughts to the trees and brings back the wisdom of those who came before. Their songs, slow and hypnotic, echo through the night as the jungle itself seems to hum in response. Observing them is to witness a culture that has turned existence into balance, every breath, every movement synchronized with the living pulse of the forest. The Huni Queen, the dreamweavers of the Amazon. Along the upper reaches of the Jurua River lives the Huni, a tribe whose world is shaped by dreams. To them, sleep is not an escape from reality, but a bridge between realms. Every morning begins with the telling of dreams. Elders, children, hunters all sit together, sharing what they have seen in the night. These dreams are treated as messages from the forest, guiding decisions about when to plant, when to hunt, and how to heal. Their art, known for its mesmerizing geometric patterns, is born directly from those visions. The Huni say the forest shows them these designs in dreams so they can remember the connections between all living things. Their woven cloths and face paintings repeat the same endless lines, patterns that mirror the paths of rivers and the flow of stars. Anthropologists studying their work have compared it to a visual language, one that maps spiritual and ecological relationships in a single design. When they sing, the melodies move in circular repetition, just like their art, reflecting the cycles of nature they observe daily. For the Huni, beauty is not created, it is revealed through communion with the forest. They see life itself as a dream that must be lived consciously, respecting the unseen harmony that sustains it. In their way, they remind us that imagination is not fantasy. It is how the human spirit learns to listen to the world. The Ashaninka, architects of the living forest. Following the rivers eastward, where Peru meets Brazil, we find the Ashaninka, a tribe whose villages seem to grow naturally from the jungle itself. Their homes are built from bamboo, vines, and palm leaves, yet each one is crafted with precision. No nails, no concrete, just the logic of nature. The Ashaninka believe a house should breathe, move, and age like a living body. Every wall allows air to flow. Every roof is shaped to guide rainwater gently back to the soil. Their architecture is not designed to dominate the environment, but to merge with it. Even their gardens are part of this living structure. Banana trees and cassava plants arranged to attract pollinators and protect smaller crops beneath the shade. This knowledge, passed silently from generation to generation, has made them masters of sustainable living long before the world began using the word sustainability. Their philosophy is simple. If you take from the forest, you must give back something in return. That might mean planting more than you harvest, or performing a small ritual to thank the spirit of a fallen tree. Watching the Ashaninka build is like watching a conversation between human hands and the earth. Every motion is measured, purposeful, and quiet. In their calm persistence, they have achieved what modern societies still struggle to understand: progress without destruction. The Ticuna, painters of the Amazon's origin. Farther north, along the banks of the Solimões River, live the Ticuna, a people who paint their history instead of writing it. Their art covers bark cloths, bodies, and masks with vibrant symbols that tell how the world began. According to Ticuna tradition, the universe was born when a great fish swallowed the sun, and light returned only when humans learned to live in balance with the water. Each generation preserves this myth through painting. The colors come from the forest itself. Red from seeds, yellow from clay, black from charcoal. Nothing artificial, nothing wasted. When the women gather to paint, they do it in silence, as if each brushstroke connects them to the ancestors watching from the river's reflection. Their masks, used in coming-of-age ceremonies, represent the spirits of animals that guide young people into adulthood. Outsiders often see these masks as decorative, but to the Ticuna, they are a dialogue between the living and the unseen. Their entire artistic tradition works like an archive, not of dates or names, but of meanings. Through art, they record their cosmology, their ethics, and their warnings about losing connection to the river. Each drawing, each color is a memory of how humans first learned to share life with nature. For the Ticuna, painting is not expression, it is remembrance. It ensures that even as the forest changes, the story of its beginning will never fade. The Matsé, the warriors of the living medicine. In the deep borderlands between Brazil and Peru, the Matsés live in one of the most remote and biologically rich regions of the planet. They are known to outsiders as fierce hunters, yet among themselves they see their role not as conquerors of the forest but as its protectors. Their most extraordinary practice involves the ritual use of frog venom, a tradition known as cambo. Warriors burn small dots on their skin and apply the secretion from the giant monkey frog. Within moments, the body reacts, heart racing, vision sharpening, every sense heightened. To the Matses, this is not pain, it is purification. They believe the venom cleanses the spirit and strengthens their connection to the animals they hunt. Western scientists studying the ritual have discovered bioactive peptides in the venom that affect blood pressure, mood, and alertness, a pharmacological treasure hidden in an ancient tradition. The Matses also possess vast knowledge of plants, using over 500 species for healing wounds, fevers, and snake bites. Every healer memorizes these plants not by name, but by the stories of where and when they were found. This oral library of medicine exists nowhere else on Earth. The Matses say the forest speaks to those who listen, revealing remedies to those who respect it. Their rituals may seem harsh, but beneath them lies a belief that life and death are part of one medicine, and the forest is the healer. The Piraha, the people without time. Far to the north, along the Maisi River, Ochi lives one of the most unusual tribes ever documented, the Piraha. Their language has no words for past or future, no numbers, and no written form. They live entirely in the present moment, guided by direct experience rather than memory or expectation. To the Piraha, only what can be seen or heard right now is real. If you tell them a story about something that happened far away, they will smile politely, then ask, "Did you see it yourself?" If not, they simply don't believe it. This worldview shapes every part of their life. They build no permanent homes, own no stored food, and make no long-term plans. When they are hungry, they fish. When they are tired, they sleep. And when the river floods, they move without hesitation. Linguists who have studied the Piraha for decades describe them as living in a constant state of awareness, alert, content, and free from anxiety about what's to come. Without words for worry, regret, or hope, their minds are anchored in what is. For many, this way of living seems impossible, but the Piraha appear genuinely happy, laughing often, singing at night to the rhythm of the forest. They remind us of something modern life has forgotten, that peace does not always come from planning or control, but from surrendering to the moment that is already here. The living message of the Amazon, what the forest tries to tell us. Across thousands of miles of rivers, vines, and mist, the voices of the Amazon's tribes form one great story, a story about connection. From the Yanomami who speak with forest spirits, to the Kayapo who wear the earth as paint, to the Piraha who live only in the present. Each tribe carries a different reflection of the same truth. Humanity was never meant to live apart from nature. Their knowledge may seem ancient, but it speaks to our most modern fears: climate change, isolation, the loss of meaning. While the outside world debates how to save the planet, these tribes have quietly been doing it for centuries, simply by living in balance. The Amazon is not only the lungs of the earth, it is also its memory, a record of how humans once understood their place in the world. Every ritual, every painting, every breath taken beneath those trees is a message written in life itself. When the forest falls silent, that message begins to fade. But as long as these tribes endure, as long as their songs echo across the rivers, the earth still remembers. Maybe the beings from the sky they speak of were never from another world at all. Maybe they were just us, the part of humanity that once knew how to listen. As the final echoes of the rainforest fade, one truth lingers in the stillness. These tribes are not relics of the past. They are windows into what humanity could still be. The world often calls them primitive, yet they understand something we have forgotten, that survival is not about control, but coexistence. Every path they walk, every song they sing, is a form of dialogue between people, spirit, and the living earth. The Amazon, in all its silence and chaos, is speaking. Through the Yanomami's chants, through the Kayapo's colors, through the Piraha's laughter, it reminds us that the human story did not begin in cities or machines. It began here, beneath the canopy, in the heartbeat of the forest. And perhaps, if we listen closely enough, we might hear what they have heard for centuries. That life itself is sacred, that the planet is not ours to own but to remember. The forest breathes, and with every breath it whispers, "We are one."